Hey, what's up guys? Today I'll show you a horror film, EMESIS. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The film begins with a teenager programming on his computer. His father, who was a scientist, has passed away and left behind a depressed widow. He was working on a portal to a parallel universe, but he didn't finish it in time. So the son decided to continue his father's work. While the mother cries in the bathtub, the teenager goes to the basement, where he activates the portal. Everything seems to be working, and for a moment, the portal shows a desert landscape, but then it immediately shuts down. It starts working again all of a sudden, but the electric shock hits the guy and knocks him out. He wakes up shortly after and finds a gelatinous substance on the floor. Later, he goes upstairs and sees his father in a horrendous state, as if he had just come out of the grave. The man emits some weird noises, while a white substance comes out of his mouth. The boy runs toward the father, but shortly after, the mother, now a zombie, approaches the two. The boy looks terrified at his mother, as she pushes him and vomits the thick white substance on him. The scene then shifts to a concert held by an all-girl rock band. After the concert, the band's manager asks the band to give autographs to fans. Although hesitant, the girls take photos with fans and give autographs. But then, a guy starts touching a girl from the band, Elle. Later, her partner, Sarah, consoles her. After that, the girls get into the van and head to the next concert. On the way, Elle has a nightmare in which a man beats her, and she begins to tremble in her friend's arms. After she wakes up, the other girls comfort her and tell her that they will always stand by her. Suddenly, the van is hit by an electric charge, and the engine dies. Sarah goes to check the engine, which turns out to be broken. Since all their phones are dead, they cannot call for help and have to continue the journey on foot. The next morning, they reach the club where they're supposed to hold the concert, but find no one there. The band members start picking on the poor manager, but it's not her fault. In fact, the girl with the green pigtails, Julie, stands up for her. The manager asks Sophie to go with her to the horse of her boyfriend, Simon, to find out what's going on with the concert. While they wait, Julie happily heads to the beach. She eventually reaches an area filled with people, buried up to their necks in sand. She's shocked and takes off her glasses to look around, not understanding whether it is all real. Suddenly, a man starts running toward her, and Julie screams loudly. Meanwhile, the manager and Sophie reach Simon's house, but they don't find him there. The manager keeps kicking the door until it opens. They slowly go inside and search for Simon, but find only the gelatinous substance we saw at the beginning of the film. The manager decides to leave a letter for Simon while Sophie looks around the house. But at one point, they hear a noise. When they go to check, they reach a dark room with diabetic blood scattered on the ground. The manager slips and falls to the floor, but when she turns around, she's startled by a lifeless human body with thick white liquid around its mouth. Meanwhile, Sarah and Elle wait for the other girls and begin to worry. Soon after, the manager and Sophie return and tell the two girls that they need to get out of there as soon as possible. When they decide to look for Julie, the girl appears behind them with white liquid coming out of her mouth. The girls try to figure out what happened to her, but Julie cannot speak clearly. At one point, the manager sees her boyfriend Simon across the street and calls out to him. Simon looks like a zombie now and has the same white liquid around his mouth. The man is dragging a dead body, but when he hears the manager, he starts running wildly toward her. Suddenly, an unknown entity runs toward him and knocks him to the ground. Then Simon starts running, as do the girls. Apparently, they are the only survivors. Their van was hit by the same electrical charge with which the teenager was hit at the beginning of the film, and this moved them to a parallel universe, inhabited by aliens and monstrous bugs. The group continues to walk away, but Julie feels sick and starts vomiting blood. They soon realize that Julie will slow them down and get them killed, so they decide to leave her in a nearby house. Nevertheless, Elle has no intention of leaving her alone and decides to stay with Julie. Worried about her partner, Sarah asks Sophie to stay with them while she and the manager go to get help. Subsequently, the manager and Sarah start looking for a working car. On the other side, Sophie sees how a woman is running away from Simon. The zombie catches up to her and knocks her to the ground, after which he starts vomiting white liquid in her face. The woman falls unconscious and Simon stands up, but at that moment, Julie coughs and he hears her. Simon starts walking toward them while Elle plugs Julie's mouth so that she does not make noise. Right at that moment, Sarah and the manager accidentally set off a car's alarm, which takes Simon's attention away. Thanks to this, the three girls are safe, and Simon heads to the car that the manager and Sarah tried to steal. As soon as the manager sees Simon, she wants to call him, but Sarah stops her and tells her that he is not a human being anymore. A few minutes later, Simon is about to leave, but the manager and Sarah accidentally bump into a car and activate the security alarm, drawing the zombies' attention. The girls start running, but Sarah trips and falls. Simon catches up to her and tries to kill her while the manager stands by and watches. Then the manager calls her boyfriend by name and he turns toward her. Simon slowly walks toward the manager. She tries to remind him who she is, but apparently they don't have good memories together and he starts to vomit in her face instead of pushing her. The manager hits him in the head with her hair clip, striking a leech-like creature. Simon screams in pain, takes the hair clip and cuts her stomach, causing her intestines to fall to the ground. Sarah gets up and goes to her friend. At that moment, we see the creature attached to Simon's head, and it runs its monstrous body away. The manager apologizes for forcing them to come here and then dies. Sarah then tearfully returns to the other girls and reveals that the manager did not make it. Sophie says that Julie is getting sicker and sicker and will most likely die. They also have no way to call for help because the landline phone doesn't work. Besides, they need weapons to defend themselves and go to the kitchen to get knives. Suddenly they hear a noise, and in the next scene, we see the unknown entity that had stopped Simon from attacking the girls earlier. In the evening, Sarah says that the knives are not enough and they need to look for guns. Sophie stays with Julie while Sarah and Elle wander around the house together looking for a firearm. They find a dead body in the bathroom and then hear a noise coming from a room. Sarah says it looks like a weird teenager's room. In fact, it is the room of the boy that we saw at the beginning of the film. Sarah finds the teenager's diary, which says that there is a lab and most likely a gun in the house. Meanwhile, Sophie is about to fall asleep, so she goes to the kitchen to drink some water. She decides to make a sandwich. At that moment, the creature that has detached itself from Simon's head now wanders around the house. Sarah and Elle reach the workshop in the basement where they find the portal. Sarah finds a crossbow that will help them against the zombies. After preparing the sandwich, Sophie returns to Julie and the gelatinous creature hides. As soon as she sits next to Julie to eat, she feels a movement behind her back, after which the creature attaches itself behind her head. Sarah and Elle hear her scream and run to check on the situation. They find Julie on the ground and Sophie standing motionless. Elle approaches Sophie, but Sophie lifts her up in the air with one hand as the disgusting white liquid comes out of her mouth, which is the way to infect a person with parasites. Sarah tries to cut off Sophie's hand, but the last one grabs her by the neck. Sarah then grabs the spare knife and starts butchering Sophie's face. After numerous blows to the face, Sophie drops Elle and prepares to vomit on Sarah and infect her. Suddenly, from the window comes that unknown entity, which saves Sarah. Sophie and the stranger start fighting, and she vomits in his face. Nevertheless, the mask prevents the liquid from taking effect and defeats Sophie. But suddenly, Sarah stabs him in the leg with the knife. The stranger knocks Sarah out with a simple blow and notices that the small gelatinous creature has escaped again. The stranger follows the creature, but it has escaped through the bathroom. Then Sarah notices how the stranger, who is apparently an alien, injects himself with an antidote to stop the infection. Sarah pretends to be dead, and the stranger approaches her and checks her stomach. He then approaches Elle and checks to see if the small creature has attached itself to her head, but he finds nothing. Sarah gets up and screams, but he ignores her. Next, he checks Julie's body and takes her with him. Sarah tries to stop him, but he hits her and she falls unconscious. Sometime later, Elle and Sarah recover and look tearfully at their dead friend. In the next scene, the stranger cuts Julie's stomach after tying her to a light pole. Sarah found another capsule with the antidote, which the stranger had dropped without notice. At that moment, they hear Julie's cry and rush to help her. In the process, the alien pulls out an egg from Julie's stomach and destroys it. Apparently, the egg formed after the girl was infected. Sarah and Elle reach the park and find the stranger, together with Julie. Sarah loads the crossbow and hits the alien for the first time in the back, and then in the head. The alien runs away, and Sarah heads toward Julie to untie her. As she approaches, numerous eggs fall from inside Julie, from which those little creatures should emerge. As Sarah tries to untie Julie, a zombie approaches them and attacks Sarah. In the process, Elle struggles to load the crossbow, but finally succeeds and hits the zombie. Then Elle runs towards Sarah, and they embrace. Since they run out of arrows, Sarah takes the one they hit the zombie with. The infected Julie starts gathering the fallen eggs and stuffing them inside her. Sarah notices that the alien creature has attached itself to the back of Julie's head again and has taken control of her brain. As Sarah slowly approaches to kill the creature, Julie turns and attacks her, knocking her to the ground. Elle tries to load the crossbow, but then decides to hit Julie with it. But it is not so easy. Julie hits Elle in the face, which triggers a flashback in which Elle's ex beats her. In the next scene, Sarah wakes up on the beach, buried up to her neck in sand, along with dozens of other people. The girl sees Elle's body lying lifeless in the distance. Suddenly, Julie arrives and vomits in a guy's face to infect him. Then, as she crawls toward the next victim, Sarah calls out to Elle. Eventually, the girl wakes up and tries to get up, while Julie continues to vomit in people's faces. Soon after, Julie sees Elle and heads toward her, but Sarah distracts her. Julie focuses on Sarah and prepares to infect her. But just then, the alien stranger shows up and attacks Julie. As the two fight, Elle runs towards Sarah and begins to dig her lower body out. Julie grabs the alien by the head and prepares to infect him with the white liquid, but he thrusts his knife into her mouth. After that, he pulls her head away from her body with a sweeping blow. As Julie's green pigtails fly through the air, the two girls run away. But first, Elle quickly returns to pick up the fallen knife from Julie's mouth. They run through the forest, but at one point, Sarah stumbles and a branch pierces her body. Elle tells her not to move because she will come back later to help her, and Sarah gives her the capsule with the antidote. In the meantime, the gelatinous creature appears and approaches Sarah. Elle returns to the beach and sees the stranger. She starts running toward him to attack him, but he continues to avoid Elle by pushing her. The stranger underestimates Elle. In fact, the girl runs toward him, and immediately after he turns around, he is hit in the heart. Elle approaches him to check if he is dead, and the alien pulls out the knife and reveals a wounded spider, which is the parasite living inside to control the entity. It's obvious that this universe is taken control by alien parasites. Elle takes the capsule with the antidote and returns to Sarah, but she is no longer there. Elle looks around until she notices Sarah a few steps away, who is now infected. Sarah starts running and knocks Elle to the ground. Elle hits her in the neck and turns her back to her. Sarah throws the white liquid onto her friend's back as Elle reaches for the antidote. Elle is about to take the capsule, but Sarah drags her a few feet, and then Elle kicks her right in the face. Elle starts to run away, but Sarah grabs her by the hair and prepares to give her the drink of the day. But not today, because she elbows her in the face, and Sarah's face becomes a bloody fountain. Elle grabs a log and hits her friend in the face. Then she takes back the capsule with the antidote, but Sarah recovers and starts chasing her. The zombie hits Elle a couple of times with her head against a tree, and then grabs her by the neck. Elle doesn't give up and kicks her in the stomach, injuring the eggs inside Sarah. The zombie recovers again, and Elle begins to speak softly to Sarah, but she is now completely infected. The zombie rushes toward Elle, but she injects the antidote into Sarah's body. Sarah recoils and begins to tremble, after which she vomits a bunch of blood and finally returns to a normal human being. Then Sarah picks up the creature stuck behind her head and throws it on the ground. Elle doesn't hesitate and completely ditches the little beast. In the end, Elle runs to her friend, who dies shortly afterward from her severe injuries. Elle covers Sarah's face and heads toward the road in hopes of finding a good soul to help her. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.